Would you like to live your best life possible, regardless of your imperfections? Discover cutting-edge tools and inspiration to let go of your limitations and expand your life beyond what you've ever imagined. On Imperfect Brilliance, we help you tap into your unique gifts and talents, uncovering and letting your brilliance shine. Join certified facilitators and coaches Betsy McLoughlin and Kathy Williams to delve into different areas of your life, get unstuck, and create the life that is truly possible for you. These joyful ladies have changed their lives by utilizing the tools and techniques they share with you. What if your willingness to acknowledge your brilliance is the catalyst to creating a new reality? When you stop judging you, what else can you create in your life and in the world? Join Kathy and Betsy live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern to create magical and joyous possibilities for an hour of laughs, questions, tips, and more. We are excited to contribute and play with you.
Welcome to Imperfect Brilliance, everyone. I'm Kathy Williams here with my co-host Betsy McLoughlin, and today we're going to be talking about the holidays. And as I was listening to the intro, I was like, oh, we're going to laugh, right? That's what it says. We're going to give you some questions and tips, and today's topic is about adding more ease to this entire season. So laughter contributes to more ease, and the questions and tools that we share will as well, because I know that people consider this the season to be jolly, but there's a lot of unjolliness and stress and contraction that often accompanies it as well. So if you are not feeling jolly or lit up to be entering the Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and everything else season, fear not. You are definitely not alone, and we're here to help during this hour. And you can always reach out at imperfectbrilliance.com. You can even sign up for our newsletter and get some clearings from the shows and a link to those shows. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram and wherever you may be. And you can always catch us on iom.fm Tuesdays, and the replays are there as well. Whenever you click Imperfect Brilliance, you can find all that good stuff. So, Betsy, welcome. Glad to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. You did a great job introducing us. I so appreciate that. And, I was thinking about our show as I do beforehand. And it was funny because what came into mind was like tapping into everyone going, ah!
Yeah. I posted the question for some people on Facebook, what's the most stressful thing for you about the holidays? And got some feedback. And one woman said, hearing these voices in my head, I need to buy.
Oh, so that's funny.
That can be one of the things that makes people, right? All the voices in your head about how to get things right or what we need to be doing that we're not doing, and all the added activities as well, like extra parties and gatherings and events, maybe even ones we don't actually want to go to, but feel obligated to. Ever have that?
Oh, absolutely. I like how you said it, it's like, the obligation. And it really is amazing, like work and everything is, all of a sudden, it's the end of November. And it's like, how did that happen? I literally feel like I lost a week somewhere, because there's some stuff going on later this week that I thought I had a whole nother week on, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't. So it's, like time seems like it's speeding up too. So, and we've had some interesting weather a lot of cold rain and a little bit of snow and some ice and just like all kinds of interesting weather. I know we're in the United States, in the East Coast of the United States, and like in the Ohio area, I know some friends just got slammed with a snowstorm. Depending on where you are in the world, you may have some weather things that are also adding to things. So I also have some friends in Australia who were talking about, it's getting pretty hot. So it's just so fun. And I know you're in Hawaii, so you're not dealing with snow. You lucky thing, you.
That's why it's even more of a shock when Thanksgiving comes. It's like, oh, it's really Thanksgiving time. The leaves are still on the trees, and this is definitely not where I grew up, but which was the Chicago area. You might be able to detect that in my voice, but it's not cold. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you've got all of these interesting outside components of things, besides your normal everyday life. You've got, you may have kids in school. You could have elderly parents that you're caring for, your own stuff that's going on in your life, work, your home. So you've already got a pretty full plate. And then, as our topic of today is, here you've got holidays. And then for people in the United States, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, which is a holiday, and it's a time to get together with family and friends and cook a ridiculous amount of food and, get together and have fun. And for a lot of people, even that becomes a stressor. We went to the grocery store, Kathy, Thanksgiving was Thursday. We went to the grocery store Monday because I said I didn't want to, be dealing with the crowds and the last minute shoppers. I didn't want to do it on the weekend. So I'm like, let's go on Monday. So we went Monday and there were basically almost no turkeys left because we celebrate, most people will get a turkey or a ham is like the traditional Thanksgiving dinner. And I couldn't believe like how little that was. And then there were some people in the store who were really angry that there was no, not a whole lot of choice. And so it's like, and here we go. It's starting with the people getting stressed out. And in our area, we also have people start to really not pay attention when they're driving. So you've kind of got to be on yes. Yeah. So you've got to be on extra high alert of everyone around you. My husband told me he was out running some errands today and he almost got hit by somebody who ran a red light. And if he hadn't been paying as much attention as he was, he probably would have been rear-ended. And I had a friend who called me today who said she was just in an accident. So it's, you've got all of these outside forces that could just have you going, like that noise I made a little bit earlier, like, oh my God, what do I do? So it's a great time, and it's great timing to have this conversation. And, where do we go? And what would you like to start with? And
goodness. I meant to say goodness. Like everything that we've brought up that's got your nervous system a little agitated, if that's happening, from family events to extra parties to car accidents to whatever it is. Can we just bring up all of that energy and destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. And this is, you want to explain the access consciousness clearing statement, Betsy?
Absolutely. So that is, like Kathy just said, the access consciousness, if I can get the words out, clearing statement. And it really is, you don't have to understand what it is. It's designed to kind of bypass our logical thinking minds that have to figure it all out and goes to the energy of whatever it is that's going on and just clears it out. If you would like more information, there is a website, and it's www.theclearingstatement.com. That will go into a little bit more explanation. But it is one of the tools that we use, these weird words that actually do change the energy of things going on. So,
and thank goodness they do.
I know. And we do. We bring up these energies on the show, and then we will give you guys questions and tools and the clearing statement so that you have, something new in your toolbox that you can play with and see what works for you, what's fun for you. And, it's an invitation for maybe something different this holiday season. And I love talking about it because it helps me remind me that when I'm aware of the angst and like all the other people out there and everything going on, it's like, what tools do I use? What questions can I ask? And what energy can I be to be me and to, stay the space of who I am and not get pulled into all of the stuff that we've already brought up here today.
Yeah. It's such a gift to be able to help us unhook. And one of the tools that we use, and we even put together a challenge last year in the middle of the holiday season, who knows, maybe we'll do it again this year, is who does this belong to? And in fact, if you go to my website, which is meetkathywilliams.com, you can find that free challenge as a set of audios. So we did 3 calls over the 3-day challenge, which you can just download for free from the shop. And we explored this tool extensively, which is, who does it belong to? Because we're such aware people that we're not only aware of what's in our own heads or our own bodies, oftentimes we're aware of what's going on in other people's heads and with their bodies. And most of us have had the experience of walking into a room and knowing that there's been an argument, or, getting a sense of, oh, someone's depressed, even though they're not really saying they're depressed, they are, right? You just know. So we're far more aware than we think we are. And this tool is amazing for helping clear your head. So you want to explain how it works, Betsy?
Well, I love what you've said already. And just building on that, it truly is for every thought, feeling, emotion that comes in, ask that question, like, who does this, like, let's say you've got that going on. Who does that belong to? Is that even my For some reason I'm enjoying making that noise today. So, and when you have that, it's like, wait, is that even my angst? Is that my, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, is it mine, or am I way more aware than I think I am? So if it's like, oh, wait, it's not mine, then would you like to, like, you can even look at it like you're returning a dress that you accidentally bought or whatever. It's like, oh, wait, this isn't even mine. I'm going to take it back to the store. And you literally just let it go from your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions. Like, oh, that's not mine. And just let it out, just return it to the universe. Let it out. It's not going to affect anyone else. Just let it out of your body and your energy and your thoughts and feelings and emotions.
Yeah. I was teaching a foundation class one time, and a student said, oh, when my neighbor's trash blows into my yard, I don't think a lot about it. I just get rid of it. And similarly, it's like sending it back. Hey, your trash flew over, or maybe your lawn care thing blew over. Here it is back. Just have it back.
Right.
You don't think much about it.
Not mine. Right. It's not mine,
Yeah.
and there's no significance attached with it. It's just, oh, wait, this isn't mine. And if you don't get a clear answer, what other questions can you ask? So who does this belong to? Is this mine? And if you don't get a yes or no, it's like, oh, okay, well, what other questions can you ask there? And even, this just popped in, Kathy. It's like, okay, if it's not mine, or, if I'm still choosing to hold on to it, that question that you shared with our listeners one time that I just love, and which is what your father asked you one time, right? And could you share that with us?
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, this one? I'm like, which one? Well, my dad's basic philosophy on life is, will this matter in 10 years? Mm-hmm. And if it won't, it's not worth getting upset about.
I love that. I really do.
He's not very upsettable.
How cool is that? Right. So,
which makes him,
Go ahead. It makes him
kind of easy to be around.
Yes. Yeah, and I love that you just brought that in. And I know we're about to go to our first break. And being easy to be. I know it's going by so fast, but easy to be around. And I hear the cue music. So let's hold on to the rest of this thought until we come back from our first break about, how much fun is it to be around you, and what can we do there. So thank you guys so much for listening to Imperfect Brilliance. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers, pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Hi, this is New Age Grammy winner Paul Avgerinos. Thanks for listening to OMTimes Radio, and please support my peaceful healing music with a purchase at iTunes, Amazon, or wherever you shop for fine music. Just put my name into the search engine, Paul Avgerinos. A, V like Victor, G like George, E-R-I-N-O-S. You can also visit me at roundskymusic.com. Thanks for listening, and I'm wishing you the brightest of blessings.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak.
Can we walk home?
How about a taxi?
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Welcome back to Imperfect Brilliance, everyone, where we are imperfectly brilliant. And Betsy had a thought she was going to share with us right before we went to break.
I did, and that was about, you mentioned how easy your father is to be around, and like what, you know, we've talked a lot about other people and being at the effect of, you know, what we can do to not be at the effect of other people's whatever they have going on. So we started asking, like, sharing that tool, that question, like, who does this belong to? And then the other thing is, like, what can we be? What can we choose to be that person that's easy to be around and not be, you know, at the effect of things going on all around us? So I love that.
I love that question.
I do too. And, you know, the thing about, like, does this, you know, will this matter in 10 years or, you know, even 5 years or 6 months from now? Like, does this truly matter? And if it doesn't, you know, like, what are you getting your knickers in a twist about if for something that you're not even going to remember, you know, in a couple of weeks?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I love the idea of being that person who comes in and changes the energy of a situation or a room. And it's as easy as, what can I change here? You know, or I have a couple of pivot words, and I refer to them as pivot words because if I am spiraling in a direction that I don't love, like stress or frustration or sadness, I can use them to pivot. And, you know, one of those is delight, and one of those is nourish. And so I could be, let's say, I do a lot of work from my beautiful, huge porch here on the island of Maui. And let's just say that my thoughts are turning in a direction that I don't like. I can actually say, oh, well, how in this moment can I find something nourishing? Or what would delight me right now? And then really it brings me back into the present moment, because I have to get present to find something that's delightful. Oh, I really enjoy the shadows on that leaf, or the sounds of the birds, or the kind of rustling of the palm leaves. So those pivot me pretty quickly, which, you know, we can do in any situation. Like, you be at a party and be like, I don't know anyone here, what am I going to do? And then ask, okay, well, what would be nourishing right now? Or what would add a sense of abundance? Oh, well, actually to see if I can strike up a conversation, or maybe I can help the host, or whatever it may be. Tapping into a quality that we would like to cultivate, rather than, you know, continuing to be pulled in a direction we don't like. And we kind of discussed doing something like this on our show with Corey Michelle. I think it was even in May. So if you look in the archives on iom.fm, or you can search iTunes and it'll come up, or it's also at my site, meetkathywilliams.com/radio. You can find a show that goes into what are called energetic priorities, and that this really help you shift. But the idea is to find some words, some qualities that really support your life, that you would like to refer back to again and again.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what contribution can we be for all the craziness, not only of the holiday, but really, you know, all year long? So what energy can we be is a great question, you know, and are you being true to yourself? Are you being you? And if you ask any of those questions and you're not, then what can you choose? And, what can you do to kind of get yourself, there's a lot of different ways that people talk about it, get yourself like centered or back to you, or find your nirvana, or however you want to kind of say those words. But it's the energy of the space of you and the happiness and the peace that you truly are, and what nourishes you. And I actually asked myself that question today. I was like, because yesterday it's been a crazy time for me, and I love it, and it's crazy fun, I should add. And it's like, wow, you haven't really slowed down to do anything that you enjoy. So I started asking that question, what would you enjoy? And so whatever that is for you, like Kathy said, even admiring your surroundings. It doesn't have to be anything that costs money. It could be. I went and got my nails done yesterday, and that was, it was nice, and, it was so fun to have somebody else give me a manicure. It could be going for a lovely walk. It could be getting a massage. It could be talking to a friend on the phone. It could be watching a TV show that you like. There's no one size fits all here, but it's really the reminder of like, what do you enjoy, and are you taking some time for you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I hear some people saying, oh my gosh, how can I take time for me? I've got to go to this Christmas pageant and these extra parties, and I have to buy gifts for my ginormous family. And how can you ask me to do anything for me? I've got way too much going on as it is.
Right. And you want me to add one more thing to my plate? Good luck with that, lady.
So, adding something for you could just be finding a great bubble bath product or like lotion to put on and really nurturing yourself right after the shower or in the shower. Or, taking a moment right before bed to acknowledge 3 things that you're thankful for. Something like that. It doesn't have to be, I've booked myself a 3-hour spa visit or a trip to Bermuda, much as I would like to.
And it could be.
It could be. You know what? We're not doing the same craziness that we do every year at the holidays. We're actually going to scoop everyone up and go somewhere else or have a quiet time in. And you know what? That may ruffle some feathers. It may. However, it may make a lot of people relieved, not just you. And that's another comment I got from a listener. She said, I have pressure to have fun making memories in the holiday season. So then I asked her, who's pressuring? Is it yours? Is it? And she said, no, her mother is exerting that pressure. So, yeah. And a lot of us have family members who have expectations of us and ideas and judgments when we don't conform to what they desire. So would you be willing to just take a deep breath? And again, everything that's theirs, will you just send it back to them? Maybe it didn't even come from them. Maybe it came from their relatives or their friends or someone else, and they just collected it along the way as well. So you're returning all of that to sender. And then everywhere you're functioning from, other people's projections, expectations, judgments, and definitions of you, will you destroy and uncreate all of that and the effect on your life? Times the Godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond.
I love it. Gosh, and I had a thought. We, for many years, my husband has a big family. He is one of 8 kids. And so, of course, kids have kids, and so there's his holiday gatherings. There's a lot of people. And for a long time, we tried to buy presents for everybody, even if it was just little something, and it got, as you can imagine, quite expensive. And it was also not joyful anymore, and it felt very like, just an obligation thing. And it was like, so one year I suggested, hey, why don't we, instead of trying to get presents for everyone, how about if we just pick one family and we draw names, and that family, and then we just get something for the kids. And because do we really, do we need, and if you want to do something for the adults, great, but get rid of the obligation of it all. And that became something that was so fun and so much more ease for everyone when you could see like this collective sigh of relief that something else had been suggested, and people are like, oh yes, that just makes everybody's life so much easier. And, so like, are there things that you're aware of, like what I just talked about, that you could maybe suggest? And if you haven't suggested it for fear of, being shot down or judged or whatever, like maybe there's somebody else in your family or in your office environment or wherever that might actually welcome it.
Oh yeah.
So are you willing to be like, hey, if this isn't working for everyone, what else could we create here that could be fun, could be light, could be joyful?
And likewise, Betsy, we adopted that quite some years ago, and it's a huge relief to not have to shop for everyone. Just get, we had a draw, a drawing, sort of, you draw someone's name, and then we shop for everyone's kids, right? The kids still get gifts, and then you get one person's name and shop for that person. And it is that collective sigh of relief. And, it might be worth taking a look at all the holiday things that you do, from holiday or business Christmas parties to kids shows to, I'm just talking about myself, things I have to do and go to, and potlucks and buying for everyone or not, and whatever the things are, and make a list of all of those things. And I know a lot of us do feel a little pressured to conform to the family traditions, and write all that stuff out and just take a look at, like, what can I let go of? What can I let go of this year? And maybe just for a year, right? Just one time, and see how it goes. Do I have to cook this year? Or could I do it a totally different way? Do I have to see both sides of the family this year? Or, do something different? See some people at Valentine's Day.
Yes. And are you willing really to let go of all of those obligations? And I can hear the resistance even to that question. And so I'm going to run the clearing statement even for myself, everywhere that I am unwilling to release myself from what I consider are my obligations around not only the holidays, but really everywhere that I consider something an obligation, because I wonder how restricting even that point of view is.
Yes.
So let's destroy and uncreate everywhere we have the point of view that something is an obligation. Oh, I like it. right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And what if we had a different perspective, a different point of view when we get to that space of this is an obligation and I don't have a choice?
Right. Wow. You know, I was listening to something that made me really aware that obligation has to do with proving. You're proving something right or someone right or you know, that you or someone wrong, actually. And so, like, if you removed any proving energy and said even things that I feel obligated to do are still a choice, you know, and I have to look at it and see what's it going to create, right? I feel obligated to go to be with my family during the holidays. And actually, it is a choice, right? I could say no. And what future would that create if I choose that? Mm-hmm. And what future will it create if I choose to go? And what's possible if I choose to be the most joyful person in the room? Even if no one has to know about it, right? I could be inwardly the most joyful person in the room. Like, that's my choice. That's what I'm choosing. I'm choosing to go. I'm choosing to participate. I'm choosing to carry joy no matter what. And you might not like the word joy. You could pick a different word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. And that way, just by being, you're carrying your reality with you. The reality that you're choosing and would like to see in the world. So, thank you all for listening to Imperfect Brilliance, everybody, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. I wonder what quality you could embody during the break that will create a change.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Hello, I'm Lisa Berry. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for Light on Living. A chance to see new, hear different, and feel more as I shine the spotlight on all the ways to lighten the load of life's challenges. Light on Living is your link to that new way you're looking for, that new understanding that will enhance your life, and that positive connection that will support your growth. So join me and you'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you.
Hi, this is recording artist and composer Yuval Ran, inviting you to a voyage through the chakras, a new double album of guided meditations to transform your life, a sublime musical medicine for nourishing inner peace and reaching to your higher virtues. Get it now at metamindfulnessmusic.com, METTA, mindfulnessmusic.com.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. This cat makes me make art. He's always motivating me to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. He's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Keyboard Cat, YouTube star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Start yours today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everyone, to Imperfect Brilliance. We're just having, this is Betsy McLoughlin here with Kathy Williams today. We're having so much fun talking about a subject that for a lot of people brings up a lot of emotions besides fun. So before we dive back in, because this time is just whizzing by, just a quick little thing on how you guys can find us. So my website is creatingyumminess.com, and my email address is accessbetsy@gmail.com. And Kathy's is meetkathyWilliams.com, and it's Kathy with a K and Williams with an S at the end. And your email address is
magicalkathy@outlook.com. Kathy with a K.
I love it. And we have lots of classes and events coming up, and we invite you to check us out. And Kathy said at the beginning of the show, we're on Facebook, and we're all over the place. And we travel for classes, as well as we do a lot of online things. And I know Kathy's got a smorgasbord of things going on, and I've got some things in development and some in-person classes. So lots of things to check out. You can also, besides our websites, you can also find us on the Access Consciousness website, and you can search by our names, Betsy McLoughlin and Kathy Williams. So I forgot, shoot, right before the break, you had said something. So do you remember what you said, Kathy?
That was so many 10 seconds ago.
I know. Oh, goodness. Oh, well.
Oh, well. And who knows, we might revisit that in a future show. Just as an aside, next week's show is on food hang-ups and judgment. Eating
just in
hang-ups
time for the
and
holidays. Yeah.
Yep. All those parties, all those fruitcakes calling your name.
Yep.
Yes, so that show will be, oh my gosh, is it December already? The 3rd of December
I know.
or something like that. Yeah. So, goodness, with all the crazy that's going on, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about being the energy that changes a situation or changes the dynamic of what's going on. And
you did. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And these, oftentimes during the holidays, we're hanging out with people, maybe hanging out is not the right word, but surrounded by people we've known for years. We have a history with these people.
Oh, true story.
I think a really useful thing to remember is they, regardless of who you think they aren't the same as they were yesterday, right? They're not the same person you saw last year. They've had highs and lows and stories and experiences and maybe learned a few things during the past year. And so how can you greet each person without the judgments you've placed on them, but with fresh eyes, even knowing, Uncle Howie, he always lies. That might actually be true. That might be your awareness. So not throwing that away, but just tapping into your awareness, like, okay, who are these people this time I'm meeting them? And with a sense of curiosity, without all the things you've decided about them already. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And I can think of, we're always going back to the past to reference now and in the future. So, like our reference point is the past. And if we're constantly changing and constantly evolving, and, so what kind of restrictions are we putting on everyone, including ourselves, by thinking that the person is always going to be that same way? Now, they may or may not, but if we just automatically go to that point of view, then what is that creating for that situation?
Yeah.
Make sense?
It really does. Yeah, so it's as though we're going into our holiday experience with glasses that we've already painted a certain color based on, all the past experiences. Whereas if you take off those painted glasses, you could see what's really present.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So, sorry, I have so many thoughts flooding my brain that nothing is coming out of my mouth. How does it get better than that? So with this time of year, especially, what we talked about right before the break, that one of the things you started to touch on was nurturing yourself. And, I'm hearing to bring that up again. So reminding ourselves during this crazy time, what can you do that you enjoy? Because for a lot of our listeners, we tend to put everyone and everything before us. And by the time we get around to us, if we even get around to us, we might be, asleep on the couch. Right? Or you say, oh, I'll get to that tomorrow. I'll get to me tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow. And tomorrow, when you're, always doing that, never comes. So just as another, loving reminder to yourself, for yourself, include you in everything that you are doing in your life. And is it okay, Kathy? Here's a question that popped in as I was saying this. Is it okay to say no to something?
Oh, I wish I knew that it was like, how long ago? Like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I had this event that I felt obligated to go to. And I really didn't want to go. I was so uninterested in going to it. It was at my child's school. And I actually made myself ill that day so I wouldn't have to go.
Oh, jeez.
Anyone else ever do that? Instead of just like, actually, it doesn't work for me. I'm going to decline. And there are really nice ways to decline things. Right? Oh, yeah, I would really love to be there and I'm just unable to. Or I know it's going to be a wonderful event and I'm sorry, I can't be there. I physically made myself sick because I didn't want to go.
Wow.
So what is it? Yeah. What is it you either feel obligated to do or pressured to do, or you feel that you can't say no because it'll hurt someone's feelings? Or, wow, you've been doing it for so long that you just have to, or, Yeah. Ooh. There's a lot of energy on all these things. So
there is.
All of that, will you destroy and uncreate your decisions, judgments, projections, expectations, and definitions of the experience and of yourself in regard to it? Wow.
Yeah. Ooh.
Times a godzillion. Right,
yeah.
Wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. Yeah. Wow.
So are you willing to cut yourself a break and maybe not be so hard on you?
And the other thing is, are you willing for other people to be maybe a little uncomfortable or sad or upset by your choice?
Yeah.
I know a lot of us don't really like that idea at all.
No,
right?
I didn't. And I didn't for the longest time. And I really always thought that I didn't have that choice, that I couldn't, I had to make everyone else happy. And I many times at my own expense. Like you just gave that example of making yourself sick so you could legitimately say, gee, I can't come because I'm sick. And so, right, like, oh gosh. And because you were not willing to say no. And I've certainly done the same thing. And I used to think that if you said no, that was like a really harsh thing. So,
harsh.
yeah, like it was harsh, and you just were not allowed to do it. So what if you were able to say no in a kind way that worked for you?
Yeah.
You know, so, and they're really, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, you can. You just say, oh, gosh, that time just doesn't work for me, or I'm just so busy right now. I would, you know, like, whatever, you know, you might have something else going on. You don't have to give somebody a detailed itinerary of your life and why you can't attend this event. And you don't have to say to them, I don't want to come because I just don't want to come. Like, you know, you don't have to be that blunt. And somewhere I thought you did.
Wow.
Somewhere along the line I thought that. And I wonder, like, how many people listening might have that. I don't know. I don't know if that's just me or if other people have that perspective as well. Because I was raised, I had to be the good girl. I had to be the nice one. I always, you know, I was the people pleaser. So in my world, it was harsh to say no.
Yeah, and similarly, yeah, I mean, you asked a moment if other people had that. I'm like, yeah. I have definitely felt like I can't let people down, you know, if I don't go or don't do this. Yeah. And I love your idea of like exploring ways to say no that feel right. You know, there are a couple other things that people talked about in regard to holidays. And one person said, every year I get a little more grim about the way the holidays have become bastardized. Right now it's commercial and all of this stuff. And so what she said is actually beautiful. She said, I create my own traditions and reason for the season. And, you know, maybe that might be, I'm going to make everyone gifts this year and maybe even warn people in advance. You know, you all are getting something that I've made myself. Don't feel a huge need to spend a lot of money on me, right? And, but I'm really going to put some thoughtful time and energy into creating something that is joyful for me and hopefully a gift to you. Something, you know, that's nourishing again, rather than, you know, feeding the commercialism. Or maybe you're a gift card person and you're like, hey, I'm getting everyone gift cards and that's going to make my life easy. And you can buy something that you really would like. Which has to do also with another woman and her dilemma, which is getting the kids' Christmas lists out and trying to figure out what they really want when they've circled just about everything. You know, I have a fun game with that. I really do. And the game is, okay, you take two items and you say, okay, if you could really, you know, have one more than the other, which one do you like? And then so you know, or if you number them 1 to 10, like number 1 being your favorite and number 10 or number 52 being your least favorite, number these in order. And that way you don't have to figure it out for the kids. But with a game, with the game of the other game, which is, okay, if you could have A or B, which do you choose? And they say A. Okay. Now, if you could have A or C, which do you choose? Okay. Well, that's hard to choose. Okay. Well, we'll keep both. All right. So if you could have C or D, which do you choose? Oh, C. Okay. You cross out D like that. So that it can be a fun game that you don't actually have to figure out. You can ask the kids to help you. Or if Santa could bring you 3 favorite things, what would it be? Right? Of this whole list, everything you've circled.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have told people, it's like, please, you know, we don't need to exchange gifts. I have everything that I require. I would in your presence, spending time with you is more than enough of a gift for me. And, just take all of that off of people. And if you want to give them a little baked good or something, go for it. But don't, for me, if I give somebody something, I don't have an expectation of anything in return. And, so many times we give a gift, we feel like we have to do it, so that whole obligation thing that we talked about earlier. So what's fun? Again, I keep hearing, just going back to what is fun for you? What will make your life easier? And thank you so much for this amazing conversation today, Kathy.
Thank you, Betsy, and thank you, everyone. Thanks for all your thoughts about what's stressful about the holidays. If you go online on Imperfect Brilliance on Facebook, you can also find the question, why do you eat other than for hunger? So post why you do and what hang-ups you would like to get over, and that way we can address them. Thanks a bunch, everyone, for listening. Yay! And we'll see you next week with eating, hang-ups, and judgment.
Aloha,
have a great week, everybody.
Be kind to yourself.